Hello all you stick makers out there. Now then, as promised, the first video on tools. This is for you, Andy. Now then, the first tool you are going to get is one of these. Okay? Now this is a half moon, or known as a bastard file. Well, it's actually flat file is more known as a bastard file. This will be rather particular. If you can see that, yes, and this light. There, gives a second. Better, not much. Anyway, this is the first one that you use. This is for like bigger jobs if you're doing crooks and bone crooks, wood crooks. That's one of the bigger ones you'll use. Now then, for finer detail, we'll come to this a little later on, is the half moon. Okay, you can see that. Yep, that's cool. Now this is a half moon file. It's a smaller one. It's for finer detail. It has a flat edge, which I shall be showing you how to use that in a much later date. I'm going to be making a whole load of videos over a period of probably a year, maybe 6 months. Don't know, depends. Anyway, this is a chisel. This is another one you'll need if you're going to do peg joints, which I'll show you 2 or 3 different ways of doing it. Okay. Now then, you'll also need a tenon saw. That's another one that you'll need. And Andy, make sure you're paying attention. Now then, you'll also need a coping saw. If you do carvings or anything like that, you'll need a coping saw, which I shall show you at a more later date. That'll probably be this time next year, but you never know what I may come up with. Okay. Now then, another tool you'll need, and very, very handy for all other jobs as well, is a pin stripper. Okay. Now then, what you can do with this is straighten sticks, and you'll need one of these here as well, which I shall be demonstrating how to use it. This is for straightening sticks, okay, and I shall demonstrate how to use it. Now this video will primarily just concentrate on tools for the moment. Okay. Put that there. It's very, very handy. Anything you use to make sure your workshop is kept clean and tidy and you know where everything is. Oh yeah, there's another one I want you to see as well. Come back here. Very unorganized, aren't they? There's a stick I was working on last night. Yes, I'll be in here maybe sometimes 11, 12 o'clock at night, but never mind. Nobody really complains. Now then, this is a rounded file, and you'll need that as well. Okay, this is one of the tools you'll need as well. Okay. Now then, what else would you need? Oh yes, a polishing wheel. Now, I don't know if you can see that or not. I'll just bring it to you. Yeah, that's right. That's the drill. Not very organized. Right, if you can see this, this is a polishing wheel. Now, this is used to buff up horns, obviously buffalo horn, antlers. If you're working with antlers, and you need one of these. I myself use a separate one for whenever I'm doing polishing. I could put it on this one, but I don't get as much access. Well, this is the draper, and we'll be using that later on for drilling other things. Oh yes, I suppose I better take you through drill belt, haven't I? Okay. Now then, drill bits. Now then, these are drill bits you'll need. These are Foster drill bits. This is a 25, well this is a 24, sorry. It depends on the type of shank you're working on and the size of the handle that you're going to do. So you use a drill bit in ratio to what shank you're going to be using, okay? Now this is a 12-inch. It's full of antler from the last job, but never mind. Sometimes you'll find that they'll, if you keep them on a slow speed, some of the bits will actually stick to them, unfortunately, but that's just the way it is. You can see that, yep. Okay, that's oh sorry, I should tell you what that is. That's a 12, okay? These are Foster bits. You can get these from Axminster Tools. You can get them in a set. They're about 30 odd pound for them, which I will be selling these in the future, hopefully. Depends. Now then, this is the one that I use the most. It's a 16-bit, okay? This is 16-bit, okay? And I'll show you how to use these later on. Alright? That's the next one I'm going to do is how to make a peg joint. So I'm going to show you 3 ways of doing that. Alright. Now I'll stand there. What else do you need? It depends on which way you want to apply like the particular oil that I use here, right? I paint it on, so it does take a little while, but it gives a lot better finish. You can apply it. You can apply it with the with the tissue, but I don't know. I find personally myself, it doesn't come up as well as it does actually painted on. If you sand it down, make sure that all your nozzles are nicely, if you can see that, make sure they're all nicely flat. It shows up a better shank. Now this is a chestnut that I've got here. It's about a 23 mil. Now this is the this is one of the carvings I've been working on, which I'll show you later on again in other videos. So this is one of the joints, so I might as well just go through it now anyway while I'm here. Now this is one of the joints that you'll use, okay? Now this is just an ordinary screw joint, and what I've done is I've pre-drilled it with like an 8 mil. Oh yeah, you maybe need one of these. Well, you don't have to have them, but I have one. Well, I would, I'm professional. These are this is a 8 little drill bit. What I do first is I drill through this, okay? Then I'll drill into the actual thing first, into the actual carved head. I'll set it with, I'm actually covering a lot more than I thought I would in this video. Right, I'll cover it, I glue it with this epoxy resin. It's 151 epoxy adhesive resin. Mix 2 parts together. Make sure it takes about 5 to 10 minutes to set. They say it's completely hard within 16 hours. It varies, you know. It depends on what room temperature you can't see that. Right, that's epoxy resin 151, okay? Or if you really want the cheap alternative and you don't want to use epoxy resin, you can use wood glue, but it doesn't set as well as, make sure that goes on there. Yes, perfect. Now that's going to be one of the carvings I'm going to do. It's a tilk. Been working on that for a couple of days, so whenever that's hand painted, I'll be putting that up on the main WildManSticks page. So if you want to buy it, yeah. But you probably won't need me to buy it if you're going to learn how to do this. Little bit of work still to be done on it. So yeah. Anyway, it's not very cohesive, but this is my first video, so I promise I'll get better at this. Now as for varnishes, okay, varnishes. You can use Ronseal Natural Clear, okay? Now that does, it protects it. You might find that you'll have to put on, if you're putting it on like raw wood like that, you'll find that you'll have to do 2 or 3 coats first. Then you'll do another 2 or 3 coats on top of that. Drying, the first 2 coats will dry in within about 5 or 10 minutes. Shut up, cat. What? What? Yeah. Damn cat's always getting the road. What? Yeah, anyway. What else would you need? Now I can take you into like little rotary motors like this here. This I use for other particular things, which I'm not going to go into at this present time, because that's a whole different video on itself. But that's one of the basic tools you'll need if you like drilling eyes here, okay, and just generally shaping it up, which I'll show you a lot later on at another date whenever I've got my bandsaw, which is something that yeah. Don't go out and rush out and buy everything. Take it as buy a bit at a time. Well, you probably already know that, so what's the point in oh yeah, you'll need some masking tape. That is a very handy, okay? Other tools you'll need are elastic bands. I'll show you 1 or 2 tricks with these as well. That will save you a lot of time, okay? Now then, what else do we have? In my workshop I have a sander, but there again I actually have a belt sander, okay? See it there? Yeah, okay, good. I have a belt sander, right? This is very handy for when you like doing horn work or crook work or anything like that. But because I don't know if you'll really get one or not, but you can pick them up fairly cheap. This one was like 80 quid. Was it? Yeah, 80 pounds whenever I first bought it, but I'm going to upgrade this because it's too slow and a bit not really powerful enough. You'll find that it has a disc here, okay? That shouldn't be really doing that, but never mind. That's useful for whenever you're doing antler caps. You'll just I'll show you how to do that later on, okay? And there's all my sticks in there, okay? They've been seasoned now for about 9 months. They usually say if you let them season for about 2 years, you can do that. What I do is I make up a lot of the shanks first. I'll sand them all down, which I'll show you how to do that. You can either do it by hand or by machine. I prefer to do them by machine because it saves me a lot of time. And then what I do is I varnish them up. Or well, I actually use a natural oil, which comes to my point that I was going on first about, which is varnish. Just give me a wee second. I'll go and get some. Now, this is a natural clear, okay? You can see that, come back. See, natural clear, that's the one I use, Ronseal natural clear there, okay? And I sometimes use, for those who prefer to varnish them, right, what I recommend myself, but that's me because it's cheap, well, you don't want to be spending too much money. Now then, this is yacht varnish gloss finish. Now it's really good. Takes an absolute age to dry though, and it can be a pain in the butt, but that's the way it goes. Now then, that's the suppose that's the very much base. Oh yes. Now then, this is a mallet. I do recommend you get one of these, which I'll show you how to do the thing that I'm on about later on. Oh yes, knife, carving knife. Now then, where are we here? Now then, these are just some of the tools that I have for my carving, okay? Now, you'll be able to see like little blades there, okay? I use that for softer wood and whatnot, okay? I have, what else? Yes, if you're going to do some, what do you call it? Get some milliput, okay? This is the standard yellow and grey, which I'll show you how to do that later on, okay? You'll also need long nose pliers, pencil sharpener, which I'm sure you'll be able to pinch from your children's pencil case. Well, I don't have any children, so I bought that myself. I'm sure we all, us men like to know, and women that are within the group, we're letting you into little secrets here. Hopefully that'll make you laugh. Now, the knife that I use is this is a Swedish made one, okay. Now this is this one here, if you can see that there. No, you can't, can you? It's going to focus. Okay, anyway, it's a short knife. I use this for like whenever I'm carving, which I'll demonstrate later on in a much later video, okay. Now this one, whenever I'm going to start trading out in other places, or I'm going into like shows or anything like that, it's bring this with you. And there's other carving blades that I'll be showing you later on. Now then, I'm covering a whole different subject here, but never mind. Now these are like carving things you can use as well, just for doing little bits and pieces of detail, okay. You can pick these up for about, I sell them for £5, so yeah, if you want them, give me a bell or shout, something like that. They're called craft knives, okay, and I'll show you them. Now then, one of the things that I'm going to be doing is pyrography. You need a good pyrographer, definitely, if you don't want to paint them. Now some of them I'm going to be doing is I'm going to leave them unpainted, but what I'm going to do is fill the detail in with the pyrographer, which I'll show you at a much later date whenever I'm actually doing carving. But go away. Now, one of the handy things that I keep, okay, is an actual steel. Make sure your knife is always sharp. Well, being an ex-chef, I prefer using one of these. Some of the stick makers I've come across, they prefer to use one of these. This is a sharpening stone, okay? That'll keep your knife nice and sharp, and make sure you always keep your knife nice and sharp. Now, for health and safety reasons, I have to tell you this, okay? Yes, that's the other thing you need. Is safety goggles. No, wrong one. Safety goggles. Make sure you keep all the dust and burrs out of your eyes whenever you're doing things. When you're drilling or anything like that, I can't emphasize that enough. You know, the health and safety crowd will be proud of me. Now then, dust mask. Very, if you suffer from asthma, like I do, you don't want, I'm a smoker as well, so there you go. You do not want dust building up. It's like baker's asthma. Exact same thing. So I do recommend that you can get one of these. You can pick them up out of any hardware store. I'm going to get a more fancy one because I'll be working with wood a lot more, and hopefully I'll be doing other things with wood as well. So yeah, those are part of the tools that you'll need. What else is there? There's other things I can go into, but as this is a 19-minute video, I don't know what length of Facebook will let me upload videos to, but there you go. Now then, that's the basic introduction to tools that I can think of around now. Well, that's pretty much the basics of what you'll need, okay? So hopefully we'll get making some sticks, eh? And I'll upload this later on and see how it turns out. Okay, WildManSticks stick making group signing out. Bye bye.